Welcome to Think Big with Dan and Qasim. Join hosts Dan Melnick and Qasim Masood as they explore big ideas, limitless possibilities, and engage with visionaries, entrepreneurs, and thought leaders who dare to dream big, get inspired, motivated, and find practical tips for personal growth. Think big, dream bigger, and ignite your potential.
Hi, we are starting Think Big with Dan and Qasim. Unfortunately, Dan and Qasim, neither one could join, so we have me, Effie Getler, filling in, and our guest today is Dr. Hayley Nelson. So Hayley, Dr. Nelson, if you want to get started.
Awesome.
Introduce
Thank
yourself.
you so much. And I hope everything's okay with Dan and Qasim. So I was happy to continue to do this and to give value to your listeners as well. So, and to introduce myself to you all.
Perfect. Thank you. Do you want to tell us about yourself, your company, and just, so our listeners can, know more about you?
Absolutely. So my name is Dr. Hayley Nelson. I am a neuroscientist and full-time psychology professor just outside of the Philadelphia area. And I recently founded the Academy of Cognitive and Behavioral Neuroscience, where my passion is truly making neuroscience approachable and accessible to helping professionals. So whether you're a nurse like yourself, or if you are a life coach or a therapist or a chiropractor, right? There's so many different fields to be able to really understand the brain so that when your clients are struggling with actually doing the techniques and the tools that you are giving them and providing them to do. It's like, why is there this roadblock? Why are you standing in your own way? Really understanding all the individual differences that make us so beautiful and unique to begin with, but really understanding the brain, how it works from a very fundamental level, all the way up to, various disorders and, challenges that people have, and talk about neuroplasticity and what it means and how can we improve that. So the techniques and skills that you're providing, actually understanding it from a scientific perspective to understand how your clients are and why they do that, but then also how and why your techniques work for them. So it's really I love teaching it. I've, been an instructor in academia for decades. And so now being able to work more closely one-on-one with these helping professionals, really from a holistic standpoint, to really help them help their clients better, but also help them stand out in their niche, because they can earn a certification from the Academy of Cognitive and Behavioral Neuroscience to really show that they have this expertise and this knowledge and really stand out in their industry and speak with authority about what they're doing and why it's so important.
It's very important, making sure we understand our clients, that our patients.
Exactly. And
Yes.
and a lot of people, they're intimidated by neuroscience. And I mean, I'm the first to tell you that I can't pronounce half the things that we call things. And, it's just breaking it down in a very rudimentary level. And that's where my years and years of experience teaching with students with a variety of backgrounds, to be able to really break it down, say, okay, yes, we can get into that later if we need it, but this is really what you need to know. And these are the fundamentals, and this is how it's going to apply to your practice. And then of course have one-on-one consultations with people as well who want to dive deeper into it. But that's really, it's kind of my tagline is making neuroscience approachable, so that people can feel comfortable asking me. And my PhD is from Johns Hopkins University. So okay. I have the credentials, and I am one of those dorky, nerdy neuroscientists, but at the same point, I'm a real person. I'm a mom, I'm a wife, I'm a teacher, I work full time, I'm a soccer mom and a swim mom. I do all of those things. So people have told me that they find it a lot easier to ask me those types of technical questions because they know that they can relate to me and I can relate to them, and I won't judge them if they mispronounce it. Trust me, I do too.
Well, that's good to know. That's good.
Yeah.
To know. When did you start this academy?
So it's been 2 years. So I came up with it really during the height of COVID, because we were all stuck inside, and I had to quickly adapt to all of my lessons becoming online. So, I had a full teaching load, and, I already had experience with online teaching, but I really had to boost it because a lot of my students who were traditional students and taking classes in person, now all of a sudden they can't. Right? Before, I would have students who opted and wanted to learn online, and so they were more familiar with online learning. But now all of a sudden I have hundreds of students who are scared of online learning, who don't think that they can do it. And so I had to really change my lessons and the way that I deliver information in an online world. So I was doing that for my career with my courses at the college. And then I started talking to more people because, apps like Clubhouse, for example, and other social media people were just sharing and and asking questions like, hey, I have this client who they stopped working out, or they have ADHD and I can't get them to focus during our sessions and they're not continuing the tasks that they're doing. And they would say things like, I wish I knew what was going on in their brain so I could help them better.
Yeah.
And I said, well, sure, take a class at my college, right? And then I realized, I'm like, why am I giving my college money? If this is something that I can actually cater to what people are asking about. So I spent a year doing market research and interviewing mainly coaches and therapists and counselors. That was my original, main core group of people to figure out what it is that they felt their knowledge was lacking, that they wanted that additional learning, continuing education to help them grow and help them serve their clients better. And so that's how I came up with the curriculum in the academy, starting from the fundamentals, but then going through things like trauma and stress and addiction, substance use, sex, gender, and sexuality, talking about learning and memory and habit forming, and, going into neurodevelopment and neuroplasticity, as well, of course, as psychological disorders and various treatment options, and really talking about how the brain works in all of those different situations. And so I developed the curriculum and a series of modules that build upon each other in this beautiful, cohesive way to be able to then issue people a certification in cognitive and behavioral neuroscience without having to go through the registrar and register and sit next to 18-year-olds and have to do all the discussions and, the homework assignments and quizzes every week, right? So I really just narrowed it down to what would best help these individuals and to help them help their clients better. So it was a year of really gathering the data, and then it was launching. And I'm pretty good with technology, but, building my website and, then the whole social media, so I definitely had to seek out some help with those things. But then to actually build the course and curriculum, I had a lot of experience with that. So I'm very confident, and, I've gotten great reviews about how cohesive the course is and the technology within it, that it's user-friendly. So it's been launched for just over a year. So I've had students in the academy for just over a year, even though it's been a couple of years in the making.
That's
so long
amazing.
Story short, sorry that you were probably expecting a one sentence answer, but that's
No. We want to hear from you. We want to hear your experience. I mean, that's amazing. Yeah. I guess now, since that year, since it's been launching, or a little over a year, I guess what's been the biggest challenge now moving forward?
Well, it's really getting the word out there that this certification exists. So I don't have many competitors in the field at all. So if you know somebody, please reach out to me and contact me.
Yeah.
But just getting my students after they finished and completed, encouraging them to share the word, getting it out there on social media. I'm definitely more of I don't want to be salesy and spammy. I want it to be more of a natural word of mouth type growth for my business. And it really is me kind of running everything until I can't handle it anymore, and then, be able to outsource it. But I'm so confident and so passionate about what I do and how this program can really help people. And I guess it's just marketing it's been, it's a beast. It's, you hear, depending on, who you speak with and which experts, some people are going to push, the Google messaging, and, other people are going to say Facebook ads, and other people are going to say, no, it's all on TikTok. And then they'll say, oh, you have to do a blog or a podcast. And then some people are saying, yes, all of the above. And then, of course, they're like, let me handle it all for you and just pay me an exorbitant amount of money. And I'm just like, no, my brand is me. It still has to be me from my voice. And So it's been interesting to kind of navigate that and put on that entrepreneurial hat and be a business owner instead of just an educator. It's not the most fun. I love teaching. That's the part that I love and am passionate about the most. So when it comes to the business side of it, it's not something that like gets me up in the morning, like, yes, I get to do my social media post today. So that's been the biggest challenge for me, is finding that own internal motivation to really push myself to get my name out there and to get the academy out there so more people can be helped and be served.
Yeah, that's definitely one of the biggest things with entrepreneurs and entrepreneurship is that like you have this goal, this vision, you want to do that, you want to push that, you want to provide that value, that support to your clients, your patients, but then like dealing with all the other business needs are just not fun, and it's a different challenge. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Nice.
And if I could pay somebody $10 an hour to do, I mean, I'm just waiting for my kids to be old enough and just have them do it all, right? You're more techie than me. You figure out how to edit this video or something. Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah. So I know you mentioned with your like you're working more with the medical professionals. You mentioned like therapists and counselors. Do you have a specific niche you want to focus on, like medical doctor, psychologist, psychiatrist?
Really, so more of people in the coaching. So a lot of times coaches can have a medical degree or can have a PhD, but then they're focusing on their coaching as well. So really the individuals who have established themselves in their field, right? But then they want that extra push to help them. So, people who have been in the industry for a while, they really are understanding what they do as a coach and as a therapist, whether it's hypnotherapy or NLP practitioners, things like that they're very good at what they do, but then they're finding that their clients are resisting the change and resisting to actually follow through. So they're not getting the best results that they could get. And then, so here's just these added tools, and the tool is knowledge, right? So really understanding the how this works neurologically, right? That yes, here's this technique I'm providing for you. This is why we practice yoga and do breathing exercise. I am not a yogi, right? But I can tell you the science behind meditative practices and breathing, and actually what that is doing to your nervous system. And I think that gives more buy-in for their clients to actually follow through and to achieve better outcomes. So it's definitely not for somebody who is just starting out. They're not going to be able to take this course and all of a sudden be able to become a neuroscientist, right? It's people who are already in the industry and then want that added boost for their own practice, but more importantly, to give their clients something that will really help them achieve that. So, when I'm talking about, who it is that I'm targeting, it's been like my marketing campaign has mainly been life coaches and hypnotherapists. But I am definitely open to more people. And as more people are contacting me, I'm realizing that I might need to change my target audience as well to include different groups of people. And then maybe have different marketing campaigns for different things. Again, it's not my area of expertise. I just want to teach and help and support, right? So that's where I do need to seek advice from people who I trust and who can provide me with, who really understand and have that same passion that I do for helping others and really focusing on that education piece.
That makes sense. Yeah. Now, since you mentioned like you do like these one-on-one catered one-on-one training, but it's a course, do you kind of like personalize it where like then you have one person, they may need 6 months, another person may need 3 months for it? Is it kind of like a standard course that you still are talking to them one-on-one with?
It depends on what the individual wants. So I do have a pretty high ticket offer. If somebody wants one-on-one, go through the entire curriculum with me and I will present it live to them. I can do that individually or in a group basis. So if there's an entire practice who wants the training to be able to ask me live, and of course there's group discounts and stuff like that. But the majority of my students prefer the self-paced, go at your own time type, coursework. So everything is uploaded onto a course site where they can come and take as long or as quick as they want. I do have recommendations for how long it should take people to get through the entire curriculum, but I also understand that as busy working professionals, you might not be able to be able to sit down for an hour a day or something like that, to really be able to do that. So if it's 2:00 in the morning when you're able to get the work done, then that's when it works for you. Or if you can carve out, during your lunch break, that you can work on it at that time. I really wanted it to be flexible, and that's how I designed it. But then again, I do have that very individualized and personal approach too, if people need that and are able to afford that as well.
Makes sense. I know the 2:00 in the morning, that's kind of a good time for me, working night shift, but
not good for you to do that. But hey, some people,
terrible.
That's what they have to do. So you do what you got to do.
Exactly. Well, I guess you need the mindset, understanding why people beat themselves up by working night shift. It's
I know it's hard.
No,
but you got to bring money in, so you got to do what you can do for your family and for your life. And so I get it. There's a need for it.
For sure.
Yeah, just making sure that other areas of your life aren't suffering as a result.
Of course.
Yeah.
How many, if I can ask, students have you had take this course or complete the course?
So the thing is I've been doing this for so long in short pieces and doing one-off seminars and lectures, and I do have speaking engagements as well.
Oh, so cool.
So the actual curriculum I've been doing for decades and hundreds, if not thousands. I mean, not counting my college students, because that's thousands, right? But for my business has been hundreds of students. Currently, I have a few dozen that are in the course now doing the self-paced option, which is awesome because, it's still new and just trying to get the word out there. I'd obviously love to have it grow even more.
Yeah.
But I think that will come with time as people learn about the Academy and learn about me as well and how this can benefit them.
Makes sense. How did you set up the course? Like when you, not the one that's like one-on-one or small groups, but like the one that the self-paced one, how did you set that one up?
So there's a course platform that I'm using. And so it's all modular. So it starts off and you have to complete module 1 in order to be eligible to start looking at the material in module 2. So, and at the end of each module, there is an assessment. So a quiz. Don't worry. A lot of people are like, have test anxiety. And it's like, if you went through and you listened to the lectures, you'll be okay. But within each module, I do have a series of recordings of me. So I've taught everything, and it's based on curriculum that I know is effective. So I have, instead of lecturing for an hour and a half straight, like I would at the college, in a lecture hall, I've broken them down into anywhere from 5-minute clips to, I think the longest one I have is about 20 minutes. I really tried to keep it under 15 minutes just because I know that that's more easily consumable. Especially for people who are working and, you only have 15 minutes in the car to listen to a lecture or something. But each module also contains lecture notes and a notes page that you can jot your own notes on it. It's all printable, and a study guide for each of them, plus hundreds throughout the whole course of additional resources. So I have links to textbook chapters that are all open educational resources, as well as articles that I have access to be able to download and say, here, look, let's read this article together. I do have bonuses to teach people how to actually find the databases that will work to be able to find these peer-reviewed, scientifically sound articles and then be able to actually understand it. How can you read through the article to find it and extract the relevant information? So being a critical thinker, right? And that's a lifelong skill. So whether you're in neuroscience or not, right? So you don't take everything that the media says at face value. You can actually challenge it and find the research for yourself. So there's a bunch of extra bonus lectures and discounts. So if they want everybody as part of that self-paced group, they get 2 individualized consultations with me live. And then if they want additional time with me, they can purchase it at a significant discount. And it's all lifetime access. So any future updates to the course, once you're a student in ACBN, you will have access to that. And networking opportunities, group meetings and things like that. So it's all included in the curriculum as part of those modules. And then once you've passed one module, then you can move on to the next. They all build upon each other. And I did that strategically with having those quizzes that aren't easy, right? So you have to actually pass them at 85 or more or better, because I want this certification to actually have value, to mean something. So if you've earned the certification in cognitive and behavioral neuroscience, It's not like some free course that you can get online and, pass it super easy. This is something, it was challenging and you had to work through it. But it's approachable and it's accessible. I give you all the tools to succeed and to pass. But at the end of the day, if you've earned it and when you get to the end, you should be really proud of yourself for making it through there. And then that is worth, hang it on your wall, the certification, and blast it all over because you worked hard for it and you earned it and deserved it. And it actually means something. So that was something that I was really passionate about, to make sure that the value of the education that you're getting is just on par. I've taught at Ivy League institutions. So the level of information that you're getting is right up there, without having to pay Ivy League tuition to be able to get it. And then be able to have that certification showing that you've completed this curriculum.
That's amazing. That definitely sounds like a really great course. And I'm curious, then, with technologies, changing technologies, AI, ChatGPT, have you, besides you built this course and the website and the marketing, have you thought about if or how you would incorporate these new technologies coming out?
Yeah. So I did not use AI to build the course. That was all me.
Yeah, makes sense.
I have played around with AI for social media posts and email newsletters and things like that, like ChatGPT, to help me come up with ideas. And I haven't mastered it yet. So it definitely kind of sounds a little body, and that's definitely not on brand with what I want to do. So I'm playing around with it. And because I think I just have to train the algorithm to speak in my voice, and it could really be beneficial to help me come up and generate new ideas for new content that I can put out there, and unique ways to be able to present the material. And also realizing that my students are relying on ChatGPT. It's really easy to just go in and say, hey, how can I stimulate my vagus nerve? And it's going to give you 10 different examples, right? But first of all, are they valid? Is that actually, correct? Because definitely not always correct what ChatGPT spits out. But then also, where's the science behind it? Why does it work? Really understanding. And then how is it in action, and putting that emotional piece, that connection to it is really important to have that human interaction. But I'm definitely not opposed to incorporating it. I love automations to make some of the mundane tasks a lot more simple, especially when it comes to marketing and, calendar scheduling and things like that. That's all AI, right? That's been around for a lot longer. And so I've definitely embraced that kind of technology. ChatGPT, I'm figuring out how I can incorporate it more. But even just like video transcripts, I was joking with you before we started recording this and saying, oh, what if I say something, mind blowing, and I'd love to have a copy of that transcript? Well, AI can actually generate that for me, and I can have it. So I think AI is a very useful tool as long as it's used ethically. I fear sometimes, when people are reaching and trying to get that human connection and then they end up speaking to a bot, that can be a really big turnoff. So that's not going to happen with my business or with me. But, I do see the value in artificial intelligence to maximize your productivity.
That's amazing. So now I know, obviously you've had a lot of changes. You created the program, launched it about a year ago, your course. If we were to have this conversation in 1 year from now, where do you see your course in 1 year from now?
I think this is the basic. And I shouldn't say basic because it's not basic, but this is the fundamental, the starting point. So with a year from now, I hope I have enough students to be able to hire an assistant, right? Full time to be able to run some of these mundane tasks that I just don't want to do and I'm not passionate about. But also be able to have more course offerings, more certifications, maybe just standalone courses that might not have a certification attached to it, but are a wealth of knowledge, right? At different price points. So, and also it would be great to have this academy be able to bring in outside lecturers and outside courses that are taught from others, some of my esteemed colleagues that can also offer certifications. And, that's more 5-10 years down the line. Right now, it's me doing all of the teaching until I can build that trust and know the quality of in mastery of their teaching to be able to incorporate them and have them be able to teach their courses within ACBN as well. So Again, that's more down the line, but with a year from now, I'll have more students who have graduated and are helping to spread the word. And again, it would be great to have more word of mouth going out to be able to really spread the word of what is happening and how this is working for so many people.
Okay. Dr. Nelson, again, that sounds great. Now, just one last time, I know you mentioned the name of your academy, but just for our listeners, if you can just name the academy again and just what's the best way they can reach it and contact you.
Wonderful. Yes. So it's the Academy of Cognitive and Behavioral Neuroscience. My name is Dr. Hayley Nelson. That's Hayley with 2 Y's. And I just updated my name on the bottom of the screen for anybody who can see that, but that's the website, academyofneuro.com, and you can contact me directly on that website. You can also email me through that. And on social media, I am at Be Well with Dr. Hayley. So that's on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, or X, whatever they call it now, TikTok. And then I'm also on Clubhouse as well. So you'll be able to find me, Dr. Hayley Nelson, and that's academyofneuro.com.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure having you on our podcast, and I hope you have a great day.
Thank you. You as well.
Thanks. Bye.